welcome to this week's flower arranging video. Today we have a really fun summer palette of oranges, peaches, and pinks. It's the perfect thing for when you're having a summer barbecue or, even just having someone over for dinner. So the flowers that I have today, first I have my favorite rose, which is Free Spirit, and it has a really nice scent. It's almost like a liqueur or some kind of very heavy perfume. It's a wonderful scent. And the color fades in and out of pink, a little bit of yellow and orange. So you'll love it. Next I have some aspidistra leaves, of course. One of my favorite tropical greens, fan palm. Then we have hypericum berries. Mine are peach today. Snapdragons and gladiolus. The vases I chose, this really standard 12 by 4 inch vase. Perfect for a traditional piece, a modern piece, anything you want to use. And then I have these cute little 2 by 2 squares. And they're just a fun accent, not something that you want to make a huge statement with, but something to just add that little special detail. So to start, I'm going to start with my little cubes. I chose 4 of them, and you can get these relatively inexpensively, so they're perfect if you want to have a dinner party and order a whole bunch of them. So I just chose 4, saying maybe like a double date. This would be 4. So to start with, I'm going to take 1 flower of each of my varietals. I'm going to take a bloom for my gladiola and a little section of my snap. I don't need the whole thing, just right from the tip. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to make these kind of like place cards. Each one will have a different flower in it, and it can sit on each person's placemat. It's just a fun way to distinguish between everyone. So to add to this, I'm going to take a little piece of my fan palm. Fan palms are really great because you can take off little sections, and you can also leave as many as you want to create different looks. So I took off a little bit. And for 2 of my bud vases, I'm going to take this little piece. I'm just going to loop it, leaving the spiky side out. And I'll take a little piece of wire and just wrap this little guy together. Just a tiny little twist. Now we'll cut it down to size. And place it in one of my little bud vases. And I'll do that one more time for another one. You can make the 2 couple, or the 2 people in a couple have the same greenery, or maybe the 2 women have the same greenery, or maybe 2 men. Just kind of like a fun way to mix things up. You could even do fun games with it if you wanted to. They're also really fun for kids too. You can help them learn different varietals. We'll put these in too. And then for one, I'm just going to take my little gladiola piece. And they look like almost little tropical flowers when you take off a bloom. Looks very similar to a hibiscus flower. I'm just going to cut this. And this is perfect for a one-time event. Now for my other one, I'm going to do the rose. Now, we'll take a little bit of aspidistra leaf, and I'm just going to cut this aspidistra leaf into sections. Really lightly cut so you don't cut your table. Pull it off. And then with this one, we're just going to kind of accordion style fold. Cupping it right at the base so that we can fit a stem inside. And twisting it up. In something this small, the leaf or grass accent is the most important part, because it's what they're going to be looking at the whole time. I'm just going to pull this part and put a little snapdragon inside. Perfect. Now we'll do one more. Another little accordion style. And you can even add a fun little stone in each vase or something else like that. There we go. And then we'll take our hypericum. You can even break these up and use a little berry in each one if you'd like to. Perfect. All right, now let's move on to our tall piece. First, I'm going to start with the fan palm. And what I like to do first is take off the bottom leaves so that I create kind of a horizontal axis on it. And don't be afraid to just tear it. You can see I've got lots left over. Just cutting off this little bit. There we go. Then the tips of this also get a little bit brown. So I like to go through and just cut off. It helps to have a really sharp pair of scissors. My clippers aren't exactly the best, but it gets the same effect. And this sharp jutting edge makes it have a little more modern look and less tropical, which I enjoy. You have tons of these little pieces left over to do whatever you want with. Ooh, that's stuck. There we go. One more. Awesome. So now we have this really fun shape. We're just going to cut and place this in on the side, pushing it down a little bit, because this is going to help break up our vase and keep everything in the same spot. So my first piece are my linear flowers, the gladiolus. I just like to sheathe these, take off all the nice little sheaths. Now we're just going to place our glads in on the side. Since I'm not using the leaf wrap, you want to be really careful about what you're doing with the stems. I like to make sure that I'm not leaving a lot of greenery below the water. Just nice, clean lines. There we go. And it's nice to let them stick out a little bit so you feel like you have a much bigger, grander piece. Now next, we'll go to our snaps, because they're our secondary focal, I guess. So we're just going to place these with your stems just in front of the glads. These won't play too big of a role, but they're a little bit more of a filler. And they'll help us bring that nice pink color in. Next, we're going to put in our roses. And these are going to be grouped in a nice big bunch right in the front. So when they open, they create an even bigger bloom. I have these in my apartment right now and I love them. They create the sweetest scent. There you go. And you just lift up any of the roses that fall down. And we'll fill in with some nice hypericum berries. One more. Nice. And there we have it. A nice tall display piece, and then nice little table place markers. It's the perfect thing for, a little party that you might be throwing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week, and we'll see you next